Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing Golgari, our favorite deck to the channel, as you could probably already tell. But this is the second place or the first place split deck place challenge placer. Yes, we did a challenge in the past, and on not us but MTGO there was a challenge where Golgari got first and second. They split. I played one of the decks. This is the other deck that performed well. So we're just going to go ahead and hop into the games. I hope you all enjoy them. And if you do, please be sure to subscribe. I truly appreciate it. And let's just get out there and game. Okay. Our opponent goes first. I about said this hand was bad because I had the Golgari fight deck up. And I was like, oh, 2 green sources. That's not that good. It's not as bad here. So we'll actually keep us. We have double removal and a nice little creature to establish in the play. Just match one. We just gotta play the bad one, huh? Maybe? I mean, I'm pretty sure this is domain, but I could be wrong. I would delightfully be wrong if I could be, but I got a bad feeling that I'm not. Just play a 3-2, get it out there. Long time before it gets removed. Yeah. Combat. Attack. We'll hit. We'll play Land War Waste. We'll get our Glista down. Take a little bit more damage here. Get depopulated maybe. Then play Shieldred and hope it's enough. Ooh, Golgari Stomper. Now have another land. Basic will you grab? A blue? Oh, no other land here from them. Okay. Just attacking. We would like to draw a card. Here are Trespassers, very sweet. Now it's like, how much do we play around that Sunfall that we know is with potential? Let's draw and we're going to play another one. If they don't have a land, I'm going to put them on top deck of hitting it. Just threaten a ton, because if they don't play land here and it's only an invasion, we should have pretty close to enough. Yeah, we do, because then we can just play a Shieldred. Yeah, so that was the scenario. Honestly, this is a really bad matchup, as you can see what it takes for us to win. But we basically put 9 power in play in terms of doing some damage. They're not able to block because Topiary Stomper is not able to unless you have 7 lands. If they have a Sunfall in hand, they have to hit an untapped source in their deck, which isn't very likely, but they also just have to hit a land in general. So there's even less of a chance. So the odds go in our favor there a little bit. And then if this all hits and connects, we'll just like draw another card. We'll play a Shieldred, and then on their upkeep, they'll get ticks for 2. Goes first. We have a Virtue, we have a Trespasser, we have a Sentinel as well, along with a Path that we can't cast currently, but might come in handy here in the future. We get a white source. Like it's going to come in handy. We do get to find a way to pick this up immediately. It'll be the same amount of damage, or they'll play 2 more 1-drops and then scry one, which it would still technically be able to get hit by a cut down with that as well. Looks like it's going to be Boros humans. No, it's going to be Boros Convoke. Every time I try to think of Convoke, I think of Connive Concoct, the blue-black card that reanimates. So they scry to the bottom, and because, like we said, of the potential plan, they can play a land and then play a Knight Errant of Eos, and we don't really want that to happen here. So we're going to take the creature that's more pressing out of the picture, put it down. So now they need to play more creatures. They can honestly do the thing, the token here. That's also a problem to an extent. We'll get attacked for 1. We can just play a Graveyard Trespasser, make Brutal Cathar a little more awkward if that's their answer to it. And it also gains a little life here. And then next turn, we will play the Fortress, or the Cottage, get the Sentinel down, and then try to lean into this Path Peril just to wipe this board clean. The best case scenario is we can somehow get this off the board, like now. Be much better for us. Maybe they'll do all out attack. I don't imagine so, because this doesn't pump itself. No attack here. We could just path to peril right now. I actually don't mind that, honestly. They didn't knight to begin with, so maybe they have a flash creature here I should be worried about. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. So let's go to combat first before we make any decision. Let's attack. He's a creature. Let's go to our graveyard. We have nothing. And then we'll take out this. On both. We'll gain a little life. We'll attack with this 4. This is my thought process. This is most likely we'll see them flash in a creature here. Now is it play this, and hope it's enough of a defensive wall? No flash here. Okay. The Midrange, no. Well, that's okay. Couldn't have worked out any better, honestly. So let us use a green here. Let's crack this. Let's put a little maybe counter on here. Get a little Glissa action. Glissa's pretty good. First strike really important in these situations. With mana value 2 or less. So let's go ahead and do that. They'll keep that around. Now it's like, do you want to block or do you not want to block? We'll do this. We got nothing going on in there. We'll just submit to 1. Another token. Now this is 8 damage. They're just going to take. And then we'll crack this. Make this a little bit bigger. No Glissas on top. We don't mind playing it because we also could play it and Path to Peril next turn. So no matter how much they put on the board, we should be able to get through. We find a win. Go first. Our hand's actually pretty solid, honestly. This is a hand we want to see. Have a draw here. Have potential draws here. If you count map tokens as being potential draws, if they hit lands. Looks like it might be mono red. You have pretty good creatures for this. I would like to play a bat, but I feel like it's just going to get punished here. So let's get our Dread Knight down. And then we can play the Glade and then probably play Sentinel because it has that 4 toughness, that high ball mark that on red a lot of times finds frustration. Oh my god, talk please. Frustrating for mono red to remove because a lightning strike doesn't just push it out of the way. Holy cow, that was impossible for me. And if it's Godric here, kind of frustrating. I'd love to look at their hand, but I think we have to play the bigger creature of the two. Just play this defensive game. Without a virtue in hand, this is going to get awkward. Or a way to kind of get this online any sooner than later. Monstrous Rage, huh? We'll do this and this. I think it's the only blocks that really make sense. Lightning strike there, that gets pumped, and now it'll be a double trade-off, which I think in the long run will take. Now it's whether or not. Yeah, I want to play bat here. Look their hand, maybe take some problems out. So lightning strike's an issue to an extent, but I think they'll end up lightning striking the bat to get this squee back. I don't mind that because that means our bat gained us 3 life. Come on, little buddy, you got to land there. Really good card, though. Are we willing to take a turn off to hit this graveyard trespasser? I think the answer should probably be yes. Yeah, probably. I don't like it, but I think it's a thing we have to do. If we can really block this, I will. But they should definitely invest in, I don't know, maybe lightning striking that and just attacking. Alright. Go first here. We got the best land to lead off on. And a pretty good hand to follow it up with. So, sure, why not? Okay. Everybody's favorite. Control the Gathering. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Oh, oh, help me. Market Gnome, I think we just have to deal with. Duran Spider is kind of annoying because it has reach. Can we get through this? There's an artifact creature. This makes an artifact creature. Probably a really, really bad matchup for us. I'm gonna take the Duran Spider. Now. Yeah, get your old Market Gnome down. Let's just keep drawing dead cards. Go for the Throat removes a non-artifact creature, and our opponent is only playing artifact creatures, so these cards are literally dead. Unless we want to remove our own creatures for some reason. Sure. Now we'll lose our bat. Seems like kind of an awkward time to do it, but sure. Lose it vulnerable to like another one if we wanted to. This only blows up enchantments, so it's also bad. I think the best way to do this is to play this and try to accelerate to something bigger like a Nissa. Get a Foundry down as well, or just use our creature lands to start applying a lot of pressure. This land drop will allow us to make both our creatures attackers. Or both of our lands attackers. So plus this helps. Bring this up. This up. Now we'll move to combat. Backing out. Land, I guess. We need to leave those in there for other great. Never mind. There they all go. I was like, we need to leave our Graveyard Trespasser in case we draw a Graveyard Trespasser. And they're like, what if? Now hear me out. You don't have to agree to this, but you kind of have to agree with this. What if you mill over the other Graveyard Trespassers? Yes, sir. Now they'll get to play this. It'll make a big artifact, and it'll be the size of a 5/5, which is tough. My removal can't do nothing about it. Or that, I guess. Sure. You remove that, and now you can attack me, I suppose. I'm not entirely sold if that's the best play. This up. Get it in there. Take out their Market Gnome so they can't craft with it. Take the damage. I'll play a Glissa. We'll pass. Now Glissa has a decently good time because this makes a token, but it can attack and kind of attack through it to a sense. Find a craft right now? Okay. I don't know if I agree with this, but what to do. Combat. We're attacking. Okay. Oh, well, that makes things interesting, huh? Two creatures, and then destroy each creature, and then this one, I guess. And that's all gone, and then we do this. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, we go for it, I think. Make it as hard as possible. Urza, okay. Now they need to hit land, and it's just a cast. That doesn't get to flip. Let's see. Okay. Are you gonna draw or remove? They draw. Now they need to hit another land. Or a Thran Spider, I guess, works. But not, like, really? Did that get us home? Minus here. We'll sacrifice the Thran Spider.
Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
Play this. We don't really care about the land. We bring up this for 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we get to bring this up for 1 for an additional 3, and we get lethal. Would you look at that, team? Would you look at that? I was like a little confused on this play from them. So like I understand it's more mana efficient, but I think getting this down and kind of established against a deck that is notorious for playing 3 to 4 of Go for the Throats. So I'm not sure. Also, this was a big enough creature just to block, and I couldn't really attack into it. So instead, they went like a 5 mana kill 1 creature. Right, we go first. We have a Path to Peril, which might be able to save us in spots with the Trespasser after, and then a Shieldred on the sideline. Sure, we'll try this. Hand suffers most from against like Domain and Control. Looks like mono red. What else would it be? Come on now. At least we don't have to deal pain to ourselves here with what's currently in play. Honestly, best case scenario is them playing 2 1-drops here instead of like a big Feldon. And maybe that's what they'll do. Okay. Sure, no artifacts, so Tome Raider's not getting any bigger. Let us play an additional black source here, and we're going to do it in reverse. We're going to play a Trespasser first to make things awkward because we want to pick up this Kamano while we can. And we'll get to find out a lot about their hand if they attack with this Tomb Raider or not. Ooh. A little weird. I don't like that. It's just Monster Shrage held back? How much damage would that be? A lot. Blocks. Got it. Alright, they don't budge. Maybe that scared them. Me just saying no blocks. Let's Path to Peril this board. That'll remove all the creatures in play besides my Graveyard Trespasser. And then, of course, they could play a haste creature, but we're going to attack and start taking out some of these. You gain some of this life back because they have to play a haste creature. And knowing, of course, of what I just exiled, if they're playing this card, they now have to have an artifact plus some to get that to work. Like, if this is just a 2-2 here, I'm not too opposed to that situation. Of course, we do have to watch for ourselves getting, like, Monster Shraged or something like that. 2 Charming Scoundrels. Oh no. Sure. Little drain action here that can happen. A double spell. We can double spell you back. So we'll cut down 1, I suppose. We'll take 1 little damage. An eensy beensy little damage. The reason we do it now while they tapped out, so we don't have to worry about like anything like a royal treatment. And then here, I guess the problem creature would be a Feldon, so we'll eat it just in case they have some way to return it back, which I doubt. We have Shieldred triggering, putting them down to 10. A Swift Spear will most likely block anything. Monster Shrage is +3, so that'd be 5. So we block here. Yeah. Do it either way. Go land. play Tortoise as a blocker. We put land into play. We attack. We go to 6. This. Now lightning strike plus this hitting's not enough. Monstrous rages not enough. Like, we block either way. We have enough mana to attack with the cottage and gain 3 life. Yeah, now it's going to be enough for lethal. So they tried their best. They did not succeed. Hopefully they see that there. We take out both creatures just to make sure we have it. Trying to get through all the triggers, opponent. Sorry. That's like the worst when you know you have lethal and it's just like, sorry, opponent, I gotta get through everything. But we get there. We find a way. Opponent goes first. And my, oh my, do we have removal. So we'll keep... Oh my, does it look like we're going to need that removal. Start off with a waste. Hopefully it might just go on a 1-drop here. So our cut down's good. But if it goes on a Felden, that'll suck. Huh? Nothing. Okay. I'll take 1 more damage to prevent 2 in the future, I suppose. Odds was weird. I could play the Dread Knight, but I'm just going to hold up and go for the throw. I would assume this is the blood token causing pauses. Play with fire or play with fire, because, you know, what else would it be? So this is going to flip. They kept a Godric on top. They're going to play it. Or a land, so they can play their Godric. Or a Squee. He's pretty good, too. We'll take 1 to prevent 3. Here, and then we'll take 2 more off this. Now it is, do we play Dread Knight or do we just kind of virtue this away? Need 5 card and exile 4, so they need 1 more card in there, which they can technically get with the blood token, but then they won't have the mana. I'm doing a little bit of the flood ski boo right now. Mono number 2. I mean, there's a creature to like flood into. Probably can't name a much better card. Another lightning strike probably. Surprised to not see him hold that. Maybe they have the, I say the 1 mana removal spell, but it's 4 mana. But maybe they had it. But kind of surprised not to see him hold that lightning strike to maybe try to draw into like a play with fire so they can get this shielded off the board. Like now Shielder is just going to apply that unwavering pressure that they don't want. Another source here that hopefully doesn't do too much damage to us. Cycle to here. We had a Nissa. Not really what we have in mind in terms of what we want to hit. But we can do this Dread Knight here, and now we'll have Beseiju to answer the Kamano if needed, or if they end up playing the big enchantment. No attacks, we just hold the line, especially when we have a Nissa and a Virtue kind of coming down the pipeline. Shieldred doing what Shieldred does and being an incredibly efficient attacker without attacking. We have 2 bloods. Would you like to cycle them? So now we'll get to do what we want to do. We'll sage you this. You'll get a land. And the other thing is helps protect this from like a Gix command. Now that happens, and now we can block, and our Mosswood Dread Knight won't go to exile. Get to keep it around. Liliana's good. How good? Guess we should have held that up in case we draw a man land. Ooh. Do I like Tortoise more here? I actually do. That is why, because we get the creature land. Now they're kind of forced to play the squee, or a creature land will exile it. Choose not to play the squee. Okay. I respect it, but not really. All right, so we bring this up. Maybe they forgot that this was a possibility of happening. We attack. We go in here. We click squee. We exile it. Now we have a food token, but I most likely will probably play this 3/2 out. So I am at 11, and this can block if need be. Most haste threats that they have. Third Kamano down. Not really going to be doing a whole lot with that. And for me now, I'm just... get it in there. We'll destroy this Kamano. Make that not a threat at all. We'll attack, try to close out the game while we can. This is a 2-turn clock pretty much in terms of counting next turn. That can't block. They hit Nissa. We'll make a 5/5 here. We'll bring this up. And now we're just in the closing phases of the game. We'll attack here. We'll take out a lightning strike for the bloodthirsty adversary, maybe. Then... honestly, at this point, we'll just end turn. We could just sack a food and gain some life, but this game is all but over for us in favor of winning. Cycle again. In the festivities, really funny card. I have a panic attack every time I play red and I'm playing like soldiers or Boros. Humans that in the festivities is going to come ruin my whole day. But yeah, so very sweet. Very sweet there. All right. So this deck list is the other challenge placement that got like that first and second split. However, I was looking around because they basically do a challenge every weekend. I'm pretty sure they do a standard challenge every weekend. If not, it's like bi-weekly. They'll do it every other weekend. But this was the other one that ended up splitting with the Golgari deck we've played previously, and I was uploading a lot of Golgari, so I kind of wanted to take a little bit of a break from it, even though it kind of hurts my channel to do that. I'm better off just uploading Golgari. But regardless of that, we brought out the other list, and we are playing it now, and it performed just as well, I would argue, or maybe in spots you could argue a little bit better. But that's also a small sample size in terms of a long-term development of like the game. Like, what do we want? So the main difference is, if I recall what the last one was without having to go to it, Shieldred was actually in the sideboard, but we're loaded up on Shieldreds in regards to this time around. We're down 1 Nissa. I think we're down a copy of the Virtue. And we didn't play Gix Command either. At least we might not have. No, we played a Gix. We didn't play any Pass, I don't think. It's so hard to remember. I've played so many Golgari decks. The other thing I know is we were loaded up on these, and we had 4 copies, and we weren't really playing any Lilianas, I don't think, but I could be wrong on that as well. If I'm going to be wrong, maybe I just don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But the way the deck functioned today, I kind of liked. Now, do I want more copies of Sentinel? Probably, because Sentinel, the name of city, is just so good against red, where it's like, oh, you get to block my creature and I have to use a spell to kill it. These two are providing the same role in this deck. It's like, oh, if I want to remove this, it takes another card. If I want to remove this, it takes another card. Like, it's not going to just be a lightning strike, kill this, or a lightning strike, kill this. It is going to have to be lightning strike this, pitch a card from hand, or lightning strike this, and it also kills my creature. Or like monstrous raging this because now we've fed maps into it. But that's kind of like the argument why this is better. But this is also better in the like gain the life back aspect of those matchups. So it's very hard. I would say Glissa of the creatures here, it's actually like Glissa is the best attacker and defender of them both. Because Glissa can blow up enchantments. It has that first strike. It has a death touch. It can draw you cards. And it can also like remove 3 counters from things. So like it can even remove planeswalkers from play because it can take off loyalty counters. there's just a lot of things, right? The Glista can do, but is also the most vulnerable of the three somehow because it doesn't require an additional card to remove or like whatever. Graveyard Trespasser in that regard is actually the best because if you like Go for the Throat, well, Go for the Throat can hit the Sentinel, can hit the Glissa, but it still takes a card with the Graveyard Trespasser. But then on the opposite side, Graveyard Trespasser doesn't trade up as often because the only way it's normally trading up is if it's flipped on the backside to a 4/4. But Sentinel can constantly grow by making map tokens, and Glissa is not losing any one-on-one fight pretty much. So there's a lot of pros and cons. That's why Golgari is so hard to kind of figure out where you want to be. No Gix either. On the Deep Cavern Bat, I was moving on to it to talk about it. Deep Cavern Bats actually helped this deck a lot in regards to like consistency in the 2-drop spot that's not just holding up removal, where like before we would just have Mosswood Dread Knight that would kind of hold its ground in that spot. Now, is it the best 2-drop this deck could have asked for? Yes, because we can do it. We can rebring it back. It helps in the grinding matchups. If they're just dying, then we bring it back. We redraw cards, and then we play another 3/2. And it does have trample, so that's also important. This card is very nice in regards to just being able to take a card, and it does have that lifelink, which is really important. I played a couple more games. I just uploaded Esper, Midrange, and I played some more games after because I was like, I'm 3 games from Diamond. Let me see. I was running hot with Esper. Didn't stop. I had this thing become a 9/9 with a Rafine. I was playing against like the Boros life gain creatures, so it took a while to get the game closed. But I had this thing become a 9/9. It's just an unremovable force and just kept hitting my opponent and blocking. And I was like, wow, Deep Cavern Bat, outside of taking a thing, because it has that lifelink and flying, that's what makes this card actually playable. And I'm like kind of getting open up to that idea. I was very critical of this card because I don't like Kite Sail Freebooter, for example. But the lifelink part is why this card is so good and important. Outside of that, I mean, we didn't see too much from Nissa. We saw a lot of Virtue for there just being a 1-of in the deck. We didn't see too much from Nissa. It was kind of a win more at the time. Like when we were playing against Red, realistically, we would have just brought up the Cottage and kept attacking and then just had 2 more foods to eat at the turn. So it didn't really matter. But this card, when this card's good, everybody, you know when this card's good. So that, here's the sideboard. If you're interested at all, person was ready for the mirror. Play your Liliana, I dare you. Like, real bad, but outside of that, it's all good. It's all good. Also, this deck plays no white sources. No white sources to kick this Path to Peril. So, it is strictly in there for early aggro. But that's all I got for you today. I hope you all enjoyed. And if you did, you know what to do already. I say it enough. But I'll catch y'all later in the next one. Bye.